Thanks for joining tonight, this morning. We're so excited to have Pastor Jesse with us, the director of Stronghold Cambodia. It's a big day in Cambodia. They're about to break ground for their new building. Maybe he'll share a little about that. But they also have hosted lots of short-term teams. And so I asked Pastor Jesse to share with us tonight some of his wisdom and experience about hosting short-term teams, especially for people in the US or in other places looking at sending teams, that they would have that host perspective. So I'll hand it over to you, Jesse. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Emily, for all this arrangement and preparation. I know it takes a lot of effort in doing that. So thank you for your service to the Lord and everyone. I'm JC, I'm Director of Stronghold Cambodia. So I assume some of you might be on the way, or some of you might be getting ready to join. But anyway, we have the recorded video for you. So let us pray before we start. Dear Lord Jesus, we thank you so much for using us in the mission field, in different places for the spreading of the gospel. Lord, may you continue to help us to become more effective when we are serving your people in different countries. Lord, help us to be well prepared. How can we be effective in the mission that you have given to us, Lord? Be with our conversation and our discussion this morning, this evening. I pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, so before we start, I just want to know some of the reason, why you're on the mission field. Some of you have been on the mission field before. Some of you are going on the mission field. And some of you are considering the mission field, you want to be on the mission field, you want to serve the Lord. So you might have your own reason why you go to Cambodia, why you go to the Philippines, why you go to Hong Kong, to do the project or to do the work with the local organization or church, and you might, because my church been doing a lot of project over there and I want to join them. Or my cousin went there, do some project with that church. So it's a great project. I want to go there, because my pastor keep nagging me and I want to go to join the mission field. Well, you all can have any reason, and it's obvious and it's nothing wrong because your cousin, because your pastor, because of your church, there's nothing wrong. But I just want to reassure that, when you are on the mission field, it's because of the Lord. The Lord may work through the pastor, work through the church, work through your cousin to encourage, to inspire you, to get out of your comfort zone, to be on the mission field and to do the work that the Lord has called you to do. You might think that, I'm not a pastor, I'm just a congregation, a church member, but everyone has a responsibility according to the great mission, in the book of Matthew. And then when you go to do the mission work, one of the reason is that you bring integrity to the Lord's work. You add the credit to the Lord's work. Building relationship is very important. The Lord wants you to be on the mission field, not only to do the work with the local people or to get the project done, or to be famous with your church, doing a lot of projects in other countries, but to build a relationship with the people. Well, I will type more with building a relationship in our next slide. Sharing resources and sharing Christ, like the Lord has blessed you, you are blessed with material things and you want to share with other people. That's one of the reasons that the Lord sent you on the mission field, to share the resources that he has blessed you with. But the most important thing is that he wants you to share him, share Christ, with those people, either Cambodian, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, in other countries around the world, sharing resources that you blessed with and sharing Christ that, he first loved us and you tell other people about the same thing. And then the reason that you're on the mission field is to bring your congregation to the world and bringing the world to your congregation, You, you just like proclaim, proclaim the gospel, and then build connection between the world. I mean, those people with your church. We call a global Christian or the universal church, and benefit for others. So you might not even realize when you're on a mission field, you might impact lives for eternity. I mean, it's very hard to comprehend how that could happen. But when you share the gospel with the people, and the gospel has the power to change life, and he has eternity. I mean, he or she has eternity. That's how you impact lives for eternity when you are the mission field. And the Lord put you on the mission field just to do that. And you might think that it's just only for the impact others or whom you serve, but it two edges. Like it's not only benefit the people whom you are serving, but it may change your life, your ministry, and your faith. You know, may change your life. How it change your life? Yeah, you like focus on your family or your mission at your church. This is what the Lord has called me to do. No, the Lord not only sending you in the state or where you are, but it's other places. Go all the world, to the end of the earth. Proclaim the gospel, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. That's so it may change your life, it may change your ministry, and it change your faith. So that's the benefit, not only the people whom you are serving, but when you are serving, you also receive a great blessing. And remember this, 90% of your job is already done when you're on the mission field. I have our friends volunteer in the past coming, worry about this, worry about that. How can we get things done? Of course, you just like me, it's preoccupied. You want to do your best for the Lord. You want to do great things for your King of Kings. But remember that it is his mission. The Lord mission is not your mission. When you're on the soil of the mission field, 90% of your work is already done, because you are not only doing project, but you are there physically present, encouragement to the local church, local organization, or your your native volunteer, like you are American, like we have Ashley, have Maria, have Timothy, Esla. They are the native American. Of course, they have been interacting with us, building a relationship. But it's great. It is a great encouragement, when they see you here on the mission field, spend a couple of days, interact with you and speak your language. So remember that. Beside doing your project, you do a lot of other things for the people on the ground, either local or Caucasian that living on the mission field. So now as I promised, I come back to relationship. Relationship and relationship. If you think about being effective on the mission field, no matter how big your project is, no matter how much money you have, no matter how talented your human resources in your mission team, if we're good for nothing if you don't build a good relationship with the church or an organization that you are going to work with, and the people over there. Building a relationship will help you, the way sharing the gospel with the people, and then building a relationship will help you with the opportunity to live out the gospel, and then building a relationship will give you the opportunity to show grace to the people, to show love. When you have love, you care. And when you care for people, you want to share with people, and then you want, you express forgiveness, So grace, love, care, and share, People will not care. People do not care until they know how much you care. So build relationship with the local people, local organization, if you're praying about being effective on the mission field. And when you are on the mission field, either in other country, I encourage you to serve with your eye wide open. What does it mean? You will see places, but when like Stronghold Cambodia, whenever I host the mission team, I will bring them to see the historical site or cultural place. Like here we have this is the form, it is all this in history. Just remember that all in history, and every country has its history. So this this is a former high school. This place is a former high school converted into an interrogation center where they detain the accused, the victim, interrogation and torture this place. And then I also will bring you to the place here called Killing Field. So they will transport the people from here, the victim over here, you know, to be murdered, slaughter, So uh, S21 is a former high school turned into the interrogation center, detention, and then the killing field where they kill people. And then this is the Angkor Wat where you learn about the culture, or the uh, history in the past, how people build the Angkor Wat. And this is the Royal Palace where our king is staying now. So all this place, if I don't do a proper orientation, our volunteer think that they some would not spend time on this place. They said they are in Cambodia to do the work, to do the project. But when I bring you there, you are not visiting all these places as a tourist, but for you to understand the history of the people, the trauma that they have experienced and the culture that you need to learn, So all this will help you, all this will help you to become a better uh, steward, when you're on the mission field. So learn about the culture and learn about the history of the people. Then will help you to be more effective when you are serving the local people. And so it's a little bit about culture, anywhere you go, people have different way of greeting, So for example, in Cambodia, when we greet people, instead of shaking hand or give me a hug, or high five or say goodbye, people do like this, they join hand, to Chum Riep Su, so as a way of welcoming, So it's appropriate to greet people with that either in the town or in the countryside. But with Stronghold Kid, they are get used to shaking hand and hug already. But besides Stronghold Kid in different part of Cambodia, you may want to say, you know, um, Chum Riep Su. So I'm just reminding you that anywhere that you go, you may want to learn from your host, what is the best way, what is the appropriate way of welcoming or greeting the people. And then children should not be at school. When you're on a mission field, either Philippines, Thailand, or anywhere, you may see the kids, selling, objects at the tourist site or begging, all those. So it is very hard to say no. It is very hard to, I don't have money, I don't want to give you. It's very painful to turn it down. However, if you give them money, they will suffer for your generosity, because children not supposed to be selling. They're supposed to be at school to do education, to study. And children are not supposed to be on the street asking or begging for money. If you're giving money, that means you are perpetuating the habit of asking or begging instead of going to school. But still ways to support, still ways, there are ways to give, like give through organization, or any other association that's they are doing the job to have kids going to school, feed them with meal, So remember, you know. But if you have food, like you have water, you have bread on your hand, just give them, but no cash. Logistic. So mission team needs a leader. So you know, like no matter how many people, you need a leader, a communicator with among your team, and as well as with the mission host, you know, or the local organization. So it will be very effective if you're able to communicate among the team members and the delegation of responsibility. Because if you don't delegate well or communicate well, you know, like you have 10 people on a mission, you know, who want to teach Sunday school, and I also want to teach Sunday school, you know, or you know, but make sure, you know, find out their talents in the mission team. Who can paint well, you know, draw the picture of Jesus Christ on the wall, assign him or her to do that. Who can teach a Sunday school teacher well, assign him or her, you know. Or who can be good with the money expenses, he or she responsible for that, you know, and communicate that well before you are on the mission field. And only one person, yeah, communicate with the church host, you know, or the organization host. Finance. So when I say finance, like when you before you come, you need to know how much going to cost for the mission team to be on the mission field. You know, so like uh, for me, like a stronghold before the mission come, I would do the calculation, the estimate cost, like either $60 or $70 or $80 per person per day. That will cover hotel, transportation, food, you know, or snack or drink, you know. So let's say like $80 per person, $800, you know, per person for 10 days or 11 days, you know. So like uh, so doing that, you know, you will have a better idea how much money to raise, how much money you to be well prepared, you know, for the mission field. And then that will be easy for you to start fundraising as well, and also share the responsibility on uh, I mean, have share with the people who want to come but they cannot. You present them the opportunity that they can just give you the money to come on their behalf. And expenses and receipt, you know, make sure you work well with your host, you know, how are they going to handle the money and expenses, and how are they going to show you the receipt, you know, just something like that. It would help you and also help the organization that hosting you as well. Project, you know, like there are a lot of projects when you come to do with the local church organization. They have this project want you to help with those project you they want you to sponsor, but make sure, you know, it within your means, you know. You cannot do that. You can do much, but it would not be effective. Just select one or two projects that your team is prepared for and good at, you know, and and leave the rest of the project alone to other mission team. Or if God willing, you come back again next year to do slow project. You don't want to be overloaded with project and then halfway done you go home, and people will not be happy about that. And emergency contact information. So yeah, you are like, if you are first time in, you know, in Cambodia, in other country, you know, you feel like being paranoid, get lost, you know, you hear about you know, pickpocket or phone snatcher and everything, or get lost. Make sure you get the information, contact information from your host, you know, like email, you know, phone number, uh, telegram, as many way as possible. And also the hotel that where you're going to stay, you know, like with Stronghold Cambodia, I will give the name of the hotel ahead to the state before they come, so that with information they will have information of the hotel where they stay. They have information of Stronghold, and will have information of me, myself, and the other staff as well. In case any emergency happen, you have something to rely on or to contact someone to contact. Health, yeah. So for Stronghold, your safety and health is our concern. So I think, I assume it's same with any other organization that are hosting the mission team, you know. So I'm not going to give specific, but I encourage you to learn from your host, you know, about the local meal. What kind of food, you know, do they have the hamburger? Do they have French fry? You know, any kind of food that you are eating or can like. For me, for South Cambodia, we are doing a rotation for a mission team. Like if today they have Western breakfast, you know, breakfast, they have lunch, they have local for lunch. And if they have local for lunch, they may have dinner from Western restaurant. But make sure the restaurant that you are bringing your mission team or your host bring you is a safe and good and hygiene, you know, because it depends on how your host have experience. Because with Stronghold, I mean, I'm blessed enough to work with a lot of Western people. I know the flavor, I know the enjoyment. So, and I know the standard of the restaurant that I can bring them. You know, so make sure your host experience those, you know, and then he or she will be able to bring you, you know, good healthy meals. So learn from your host, asking them question, what kind of food you're expecting. Any food allergy or vegetarian, you convey that message to your host, you know. If you have like you have crab or prawn or durian allergy, if on a mission field, if you have that allergy, I am very happy. So I can have more for myself, you know. So, but just convey the message that, you know, if you have any allergy, and then if you are vegetarian, you don't eat meat. So for me, again, I'm a meat lover. If you are vegetarian, that would be a blessing for me, you know. But you just need to communicate that we can prepare something else for you to enjoy while you are not while you not appreciate those things. If you do not like it, if you do not like food, please keep it for yourself. You know, no outward expressions. Sometimes, I mean, you might feel disgusted, oh, this terrible, gross, you know, but the local people they enjoy, you know. It's just like I when I am in the state, you know, that the thing I don't enjoy, but you guys like it so much, you know. So no outward expressions, no such thing, just keep it with yourself, you know, keep it within yourself. Okay to wear t-shirt and knee-high short or skirt, but better wear a long pant. Put on put on repellent or sunscreen. You know, in Cambodia, sometimes it's very hot. You know, when you go to the village, you know, mosquitoes and everything. Wear dust-proof mask. You know, like we are on the when we travel by the tuk-tuk kind of the wagon on the public, it's very dusty. Put that mask on. Wear toe protective shoes. Wash hands thoroughly with hand sanitizer. Make sure your host has toilet paper for you to use, or you bring some. It's very important, you know. So with Stronghold team, every time when I host, so our office buy a lot of tissues to bring along, you know, uh, for our mission team to use the bathroom. Because how we do things is different. Like you always need the tissues, but in Cambodia, every toilet, you know, in Cambodia, it has a spray, you know, the water spray. So local people, they use a spray. I think the Philippines, they might use the same thing, right? Yeah, I can see you. But for you guys, you don't have the spray at home and you used to the tissues. So make sure bring some your own tissues and asking your host if they have some for you. Safety. So doors in the hotel, at the hotel, must always be locked. Keep your personal belongings safe at all time. Your passport, your your wallet, and your phone. Those are the three important items that you want to be safe all the time. You know, like some hotel, they offer the safety box, you know, so figure out whether you want to live in a safety box or be with you all the time, but make sure it's safe. Watch out for pickpocket at shopping or in a public. I know when you are in the country, like I am in the state the first time, I take the picture of everything. I take the picture of the cornfield. I take the picture of the lake, you know, everything. And you feel the same when you're in the Kingdom of Wonder. You are wondering all these things, and then you want to take the picture, you know, of the people, the 3, 4 people on the motor, you know, or the people, you know, carry a baby on the motor, and people carry a long steel on the motor that they don't need the oversized truck like you do in the state. So you want to take the picture, you know, but watch out the pickpocket, you know, especially in Phnom Penh and shopping mall, they would come by and snatch. I had our volunteer who got snatched. So be alert and be careful, you know, with those things. Walk slow and stare at the traffic when crossing the street. Do not run. I don't know if it's the same thing in Philippines or Thailand, but Cambodia, you know, do not run when you cross the road. When you cross, the people won't be able to maneuver well. Do not go out at night. Yeah. I think the same thing, Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia, even in the US, you go out at night, but not that late at night. You know, everywhere it would be unsafe if you just, you know, really late. So don't go out at night. Always go in group of 2 if you must. If you must. So, well, again, this is difference, and I just learned from the recent trip that uh, we have experienced in some, you know, disagreements. So that's why I have the option to include this gospel versus doctrine. You know, I love doctrine. You know, I love the Lutheran doctrine. You know, and doctrine is like helping us to go closer to the Bible, and I want that. However, you know, there will be a time that you want, when the people become a Christian, mature in faith, that the opportunity for you to start talking about doctrine. However, when you're on the mission field, like especially like Cambodia, you know, as Stronghold is on the Fish Island, the children is just like hear about Jesus. They have very young faith. The parents, they just hear about Jesus. If you are teaching about the doctrine, they would not understand, they would not comprehend that. And then if the people who have some faith already, but when you're talking about doctrine, it would be a little bit confusing for them, you know. So again, don't get me wrong, doctrine is great, but when you come to Cambodia or any other country that you go on a mission field to share about Jesus, yeah, talk about the gospel of salvation. Jesus love. John 6:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, you know, that as simple as that, you know. And then you can save the doctrine to share with them later, a couple of years from there, when they already learn and their faith become more mature. Special note, do not make any promise to anyone without first consult with the local host, church, or and organizations. When you're on a mission field, you're not only working with the local host or church, but at the same time you meet with volunteers, local people who are assisting, you know. But don't make any promise, you know. I will do this, I will do that, I will meet you, I will give this. So don't make any promise to anyone. First consult with the local church and organizations, because that will get a lot of misunderstandings and controversy. Do not give cash reward directly to any of our staff contract, you know, local volunteer or people that you are serving. You must please give, if you must, please give it in the form of in kind. You impressed with, you know, with the student, are you impressed with the volunteer, how they come and assist you in the mission field? You want to do something, you know, as a token of being thankful, you know, that's great. That's nothing wrong. you know, do that. I am very happy to do that. However, don't do in a cash reward, you know, like if he or she is students, you want to reward, buy a school bag for her or a bicycle for her if you are big heart enough, you know, or like next year she's going to the college, pay her like $500 per year to go to school rather than giving her or him, you know, a cash reward. So just, you know, because we had in the past, you know, people did that, and later the other kids saw that, become jealous, and then the kid young, excited, and don't know how to use money in the proper way. So to be effective, and you want to have, you know, in and a gift, you know, in form of in kind, it's the old version, but I learned that. But a gift, if you want to give a person, don't give cash, you know, don't give cash. Just, you know, school bag or bicycle or scholarship, you know, that's something that help them with educations, or you know, that he or she can benefit for a long time. If you would like to financially support one or many mentioned projects, you should consult with the host and the partner how about to do it. You know, you have the mission field, and after hearing the presentation, you are touched by the Holy Spirit, and you want to sponsor or, you know, support one of the project in the presentations. So you consult with the host or organization. Don't just give money to anyone, even the director. You know, like for me, if you want to support Stronghold, yes, I'm thankful, but don't give me cash. Go to Stronghold website or our partner, give them money. You know, give them money, and then they let us know. We'll use accordingly. And if you're in Cambodia, I would ask you to go to the bank and deposit the money in the bank. You know, don't give me cash. Don't give anybody cash. You know, that's how you want to. That's how you want to support uh, or sponsor the project. Any other country, it will become effective. You know, so I mean, but again, it's up to you. But it's just my recommendations. You know, because like. I mean, Stronghold, one of the core value of Stronghold, that we want to be clear, transparent, how with the gift that God has given to us. So in order for you to help us prevent us from falling into temptation, do proper channels of blessing. Do not give email address or any information contact to any people. So you don't want to do that, you know, like if you give his email address, you know, or information, this student will write, oh, my family got accident, or I need to go to school, no money, everything. They keep nagging you, asking you for this, for that. And then when they are not successful, they come to the local organization on the ground. Your friend asked me to contact this kind of, and he never respond to me. So don't give any email contact information. If you want to contact, go through the organization. Using translator effectively, I think I will skip this one because unless you're in Cambodia, I will do that. Embracing ambiguity is a part of mission work, you know. I know you guys from the state, you are well prepared, you are systematic, you know, you want to be well organized, how to do this, how to do that, what time, 8 o'clock you meet, you know, 8:30 you meet these people. I love that. But it's a little bit challenging. Cameroon is learning, you know, they have different culture. We are meeting at 8 o'clock. For me, at 8 o'clock, I will get there at like 7:45 or 7:50 to be ready. But my other local people, 8 o'clock, they leave home while the appointment is at 8 o'clock. So, you know, and then, you know, sometimes people promise to meet you at 2 o'clock, and then you're on the way and they call, oh, sorry, cannot. I have something urgent. You know, I forget about it. So impress ambiguity is a part of missions. And be reminded again, it is the Lord's work, you know, let the Lord's will be done, you know, not your will be done. And I will give him praise for that. And what kind of experience you will have, it depends on your attitude. You're tired, you're happy, you're excited, you're happy, you want to come again. It's all depend on you. But remember for sure, you know, whatever you do, work with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for JC or Stronghold Cambodia, not for the Philippines, not for the people in Slovakia, not for the people over there, but it is for the Lord, for the Lord Christ you are serving. That will help you to be effective. Yeah. And finally you say, Lord, have mercy on me. I'm a poor, miserable sinner. And we know that, so we are poor, miserable sinner. Lord, have mercy. And thank you for your service to the Lord. But here the picture down here. So the guy who are pulling here is the organization or the church on the mission field. He tried to pull. And then the guy who are driving here, he is your pastor, your church leader, your mission coordinator who try to steer, make sure you go to a proper direction or on the right tracks. And the guys over here, it's you. You're pushing, you are congregation. You are pushing your pastor who are driving, and then the organization on the ground is pulling, make sure. So it's teamwork. The Lord has joined us together for mission work. You cannot, that we are part, we are the hands and the foot, and the eyes for his mission. It's two better than one, so it's a mission work, it's a work team, so it will be very, the Lord bless our effort as a joint effort together for him, when you are serving as a team together. Again, thank you for your service to the Lord. And then if you have any questions or answer, we can discuss, or you cannot think of the question. This is my email address. You can contact me, ask questions on email, write an email, or I am willing to set up a personal Zoom meeting with you if you want to know more about how to be effective on the mission field. And just all this, what I share is just my experience. I did not go to school for that, but just how I learned. You may have a better idea that we can share with one another.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
You're welcome.
I did have one question I wanted to start with. So, as an organization for MCN, when we send people overseas, especially for a short time, we hope that, well, okay, so we say our mission statement is intentional gospel proclamation, or lifelong intentional gospel proclamation. So we hope that if people go serve in Cambodia for 10 days or 2 weeks, when they come back to the US, they continue to intentionally proclaim the gospel and still see themselves as in mission back in their home country. Do you have any thoughts about things that you hope that teams learn from their time at Stronghold that they can take back to their daily life?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned in one of the slides, when you are coming to serve a Stronghold or serve on the mission field, the benefits only it's not for the people you are serving, but it's also for you serve. When you serve, you also will have benefit as well to bring back. How you bring back, like you witness how God is working on the mission field through you and through the organization that you are working with. And then God may open you, open your eye bigger, way to see a big picture, what it really means of serving him, So like when you come, you build relationship, and then you keep communicate, corresponding with with the people. So this is how the mutual impact begin, So they can bring, witness how God is working, and also they get inspired, continue to work with those people, encourage the people to come to on the mission field again. So that I see, that they can bring back, and then remember that integrity of the Lord's work is very important. Both bring to Cambodia and bring from Cambodia to the state. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes I think I've seen some mission trips where it's like a big group of foreigners that all show up together, and it kind of like overwhelms the local ministry that's happening. So I was wondering, do you have any ideas of like things that you can do to kind of keep a big group from overwhelming like a project?
Yes, that's a very good question. I had in the past too, that the local church feel overwhelmed because too many people and very difficult to do the orientation instruction, especially the youth group student, high school students. So, but for Stronghold expectation, we have a limit number, like we start from 5 to 12. 12 is the max of the mission team that we can host. And rather more than that, we would ask you to go for the next time or do other project. So 12 is the most, but if more than 12, I agree with you. It's overwhelming and challenging to manage. And then, too many cook, too many chefs spoil the broth. That's true. Yeah. So start from 5, 6 to 12. 12 is the max. You don't want to go more than that. And you don't ask about the period, but I would recommend like 12 days to 13 days on the mission field, and you don't want to go beyond that as well. Otherwise, people will feel so exhausted, overwhelmed as well. Both local organization and the individual member in a mission on the mission team.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your emphasis on God at work in all places and the ways that we get to be part of that together. MCN is very, very blessed to partner with Stronghold.
Thank you.
Praise God for all that you do.